Depois de muitas horas de trabalho, eis que baixou o pano desta 38ª sessão ordinária da União Africana, realizada aqui nesta bela cidade de Addis Abeba. Eu gostaria de aproveitar esta oportunidade para agradecer a contribuição de todos, o que tornou possível nós adotarmos todos os documentos que foram submetidos a esta sessão, obviamente que com as correções devidas. Portanto, nós agradecemos a contribuição de todas as delegações dos Estados-membros e agradecemos, sobretudo, o empenho da Comissão da União Africana, não apenas do seu presidente, da vice-presidente,
or deputy chairperson, but by all the commissioners who make up this same African Union Commission. Therefore, I would like to stop here and to say that we're here to continue with our work. The Commission has almost one more month of work before they pass the testimony to the new elected Commission. I would like to seize this opportunity to congratulate the elected chairperson of the Commission and the elected deputy chairperson of the Commission, who will take charge of the mandate as from next month. We're convinced that they will give the continuity of the work carried out by the outgoing Commission of the African Union, and thank you.
Okay. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to announce that His Excellency João Lourenço, President of the Republic of Angola, Chairperson of the African Union, will hold a press conference in the Nelson Mandela Hall immediately after the closing of this meeting, together with His Excellency, the Chairperson of the Commission, His Excellency Musa Faki Mohammed. And now, may I kindly ask you to rise for the African Union anthem. Thank you.
l'exploitation et de la colonisation, de crimes contre l'humanité et de génocide contre les peuples d'Afrique.
Togo welcomes the adoption on 16 February 2025 by the Assembly of the African Union at its 38th ordinary session of the decision on the qualification of slavery, slave trade, the deportation and the colonization, and to qualify this as crimes against mankind and the genocide against African peoples. This historical decision, adopted at the initiative of Togo under the leadership of His Excellency Faure Gnassingbé, the President of the Togolese Republic, marks a turning point, a major turning point in the quest of African peoples and peoples of African descent for the just recognition and reparation of the crimes of slavery and deportation and colonization. In fact, the history of the last 5 centuries of the peoples of Africa have been marked by injustice and a tragic denigration of the people. The seriousness of this historical injustice has been criminal acts and well thought out and methodologically carried out, perpetrated against the peoples of Africa and peoples of African descent. That is why Togo decided to ask the policy organs of the African Union the request that led to that adoption of the decision, which meets the aspirations, the deep aspirations of the peoples and the diaspora organizations, the African civil society organizations, justice and reparations.
Of slavery, deportation and colonization as crimes against humanity and genocide against the people of Africa allows Africa to put its own odd in the suffering traffic history, to work toward a better knowledge of the painful periods of the continent history by the younger generation, to begin the work of healing the deep scars left in African societies, to send a strong message to the international community about the threats and expectation for recognition and reparation of the historical injustices suffered by its people, to take the lead on the issues of reparation and restitution, so as not to allow others to dictate the theme of the debate, to deny legitimacy to any rhetoric that seeks to justify slavery and colonization, to have a precise and appropriate language in its struggle to reparation and restitution on the international stage, and to protect present and future generations of Africa and Afro-descendants from the risk of resurgence of slavery and colonization. In its decision, the Assembly of Heads of States and Government invited member states, regional organizations, and organizations of African civil society and the diaspora to take various initiatives to ensure that new generations have a better understanding of the crimes and deliberately concealed sequences of the history of slavery, of colonisation. Le gouvernement togolais tient à remercier le nouveau président en exercice de l'Union africaine, la conférence des
Assembly of Heads of State and Government and the Commission for their sense of historical responsibility which has been shown with the adoption of this decision. On its part, Togo, which has been mandated by the Assembly of Heads of State in order to ensure the leadership, the follow-up of the implementation and the implications of the decision, commits itself to take up this responsibility following this mandate given in cooperation with the African Union Commission and all the member states and the diaspora organizations and also those of the African descent. For Togo, the decision on the classification of that deportation and slavery and colonization have been crimes against mankind and is a stage victory of the efforts of Africa in order to take up its destiny in its own hands. This decision will make the issue of justice and place it in a historical perspective and also the reparations at the 9th Pan-African Congress, which will be held in December 2025 in Lomé, Togo. Done in Addis Ababa on 16 February 2025. I thank you.
ኢትዮጵያ በሁለትዮሽ ብቻ ሳይሆን በባለ ብዙ ወገን ቀደምት የዲፕሎማሲ ታሪክ ባለቤት የታላላቅ የባለ ብዙ ወገን የዲፕሎማሲያዊ ግንኙነት መድረኮች እስከ ዛሬም ድረስ የአዳዲስና ባለ ተጽዕኖ የባለ ብዙ ወገን ዲፕሎማሲያዊ መድረኮች ቀዳሚ አባል መሆን የቻለች
እኛ አፍሪካውያን በአሁኑ ጊዜ በዓለም ላይ የተለየ ስፍራ ይዘናል።
ዛሬም እንደ ትናንቱ 38ኛውን የመሪዎችና 46ኛውን የሥራ አስፈጻሚዎች ጉባኤ በማስተናገድ መዲናችን አዲስ አበባ ሥራ ላይ ናት።
የባለብዙ ወገን መድረክ አቀንቃኝና የባለብዙ ወገን መርሆች እንዲከበሩ ድምጿን በማሰማት ከዓለም ቀደምት ሀገሮች አንዷ ነች።
ዲፕሎማሲያችን